Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our friends joining us today from the Mountain and Pacific time zones. My name is Daniel Williams, Chief Executive Officer of Leap Media Solutions, and I am joined by our Director of Data Analytics, Michael Spears, along with our Director of Client Solutions, Sean Perkins. It is our pleasure to welcome you to today's session, which is the second in our ongoing series of webinars that highlight marketing best practices and other services and resources available to the Leap Media Solutions client community. Today's session will focus on the new LMS Retention Analytics Suite, which is a product we've been developing over the past few months and have recently rolled out across the Leap Media client community. The LMS Retention Analytics Suite is a value-added component for Leap Media's managed services clients and is also now available as a standalone license application to other news media companies. Before we get started, please mark your calendars for our next webinar that covers the new LMS client portals. This session will be conducted on Friday, December 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Pacific. Invitations will be sent following today's call. Finally, a few housekeeping items. We have a full house today of at least 25 attendees, so please submit questions through the webinar dialog box that you should see on your GoToMeeting window, and we will answer within the allotted time toward the end of today's session. If we are unable to answer your question, we will follow up after the call. Also, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available at our website along with past webinars. The Leap Media Solutions website is undergoing a series of updates, so please check back frequently for the latest news and links to best practices and other industry resources. And finally, if you've not already done so, please take a moment to register for the Leap Media newsletter or update your existing profile at leapmediasolutions.com/signup. Today's agenda will involve these areas and should take us about 15 to 20 minutes, leaving plenty of time for any questions from the audience. We will begin with a brief introduction to the features and functions of the new Retention Analytics Suite, then review the basic steps for how we accept transactional data from your circulation system, import and transform it into our MAX database, then reload it into our platform for viewer access and to create on-demand reports or extract data for offline distribution. Finally, we will share our plans for ongoing product development, including how this will become a forecasting or predictive tool in early 2014, allowing you to provide inputs that will in turn calculate circulation volume and revenue yields based on history. And we believe this will become an indispensable tool in our ongoing efforts to optimize marketing investments to achieve goals. Among the features of the new platform, it is a web-based retention analytics suite that right now is updated monthly with the latest transactional data as loaded and managed inside the LMS consumer data warehouse and campaign automation system. And in early December, we are changing to daily site updates. For non-LMS clients, the site is updated either weekly or monthly depending upon the frequency with which you supply your transaction file to us. The site therefore allows you on-demand access to retention metrics as compiled and measured over a 3-year history. So for example, the retention table consists of new start activity beginning in January 2010 through current. Therefore, in order to measure 52-week retention, the domain for analysis or the data set must be at least 52 weeks in the past. So we begin with the transaction data from January 2010 and include all starts and stops activity up to current in building the underlying data mart. The site also allows you to drill down on multiple levels or criteria, which is a key feature and point of differentiation versus other out-of-the-box retention reporting softwares or products available in the market today. These levels include time elements, subscription level attributes, geographic parameters, and demographic cohorts, among other items. Your site is password protected and limits visibility only to those authorized users for whom we've issued a password. And the Excel-based export utility allows you to extract data and download tables for offline formatting, printing, and distribution. And finally, because our solution is developed on an open source platform, we have a high degree of flexibility for ongoing product development and enhancements. And perhaps most importantly, there is no software to install or updates for you to manage. This is entirely a web-based model which allows us to extend the application at no cost to current LMS clients or for a modest licensing cost to all others, and that fee includes initial setup, data management, hosting, security, and ongoing product development. So to very briefly review our process for extracting, transforming, and loading your transactional data into the LMS Retention Analytics platform, the first step involves you delivering your transaction table to Leap Media Solutions, which in turn loads into Max to transform the data, apply specific business rules and data categorization, and then is loaded into the LMS Retention Analytics tool for web deployment. For existing LMS managed service clients, this process is already happening as part of the daily marketing database refresh. For non-clients, this process would involve you delivering a flat file according to a standard layout that will be shown on the next screen. The standard file layout today consists of 17 data elements, and the preferred format is a comma-delimited text file with quotes as field separators. Date fields should be provided in month, day, year format as shown. For clients licensing this platform, we work with you on the very simple steps of creating and automating this transaction data extract from your circulation system. This diagram displays the subscription level attributes associated with the subscription record. Allow me to elaborate on this for a moment and why the pre-processing steps we've engineered are crucial to ensuring accuracy of retention analytics going forward. With the new all-access models and AAM rules allowing newspapers to report multiple platform registrations on publisher statements and audits, it has become a common practice for news media companies to create multiple subscription records that are actually associated with a single customer. While this enables newspapers to extend, even duplicate, circulation metrics across AAM reporting categories, it potentially compromises starts, stops, churn, retention, loyalty, and lifetime value analytics, as subscription records may either be expunged or subscription histories may be distorted due to stops or starts in the system that are in fact neither. For this reason, the LMS Retention Analytics Suite works towards a single subscription record that ensures those multi-account scenarios are identified and accounted for so as not to inflate, deflate, or otherwise distort your retention measurements. At this point, we will segue into the live demonstration. And for today's demonstration, we will access the Day Publishing Company's Retention Analytics Suite. In my browser, I have bookmarked the Day's Retention Suite. When I open the page, I am prompted to input a password. And once I input the password, the dashboard defaults to the Retention by Channel table and graph and displays all transactional data through the most recent update. Along the left navigation are a range of display options and filters, including date range, channel, town, demographics, etc. The default display setting is to show both the table and the chart. If I want to only display the table view, I simply select that radio button, or do the same to display the chart. The default display setting also is configured to display counts, but if I prefer, I can select the percent checkbox to alternate between counts and percent values. My personal preference is to view my retention data as percentages, so for this demonstration, we will check this box. A few other notes regarding the default settings. The dashboard is configured to only display categories where there are at least 10 starts. Often the data is very granular, so to keep the charts and graphs clean, we built the settings to display minimum starts of 10, but you may override this by changing the value to 0, or even changing the value to a higher number, such as 100. Finally, the date range defaults to the full data set, which in this case is every subscription acquired from 2010 through the most recent system update of November 21st, 2013. If we want to adjust the date range, we have several options. Clicking in the date box provides several defaults as well as a calendar feature at the bottom that allows you to create custom ranges. We can display only those starts generated over the past 6 months. We can display only those starts generated over the past year. We can display only those starts generated over the past 18 months. We can also exclude those starts generated over the past 18 months. And we can return to our original setting by selecting all starts. Or my preference, we can create a custom range, which I may either type or use the calendar widgets to define the begin and end range for the range. In this case, I'm going to use the widgets to define the data set as all starts generated from January 1st, 2010 through December 31st, 2012. Once I define the dates, I simply click into the open workspace and the charts and graphs automatically update. In the table, the category for measurement is displayed under the second column, which in this case is sales channel. To the right is the total number of starts within the category as measured during the time range selected for analysis. Moving along from left to right, you see the retention rates as measured in 4-week, 8-week, 13-week, 26-week, 39-week, 52-week, 65-week, and 78-week increments. The chart below displays the same data in graphical format. Under the display menu, there is a drop-down box that allows you to change the category that you wish to display or review in the retention table and chart. As noted earlier, upon entering the site, the dashboard defaults to displaying the retention by channel, but I can easily change this in the drop-down menu. The options are retention by year, retention by quarter, retention by month, retention by zip code, retention by demographic code, retention by town, retention by geozone, which is a wildcard option that allows you to define custom geographic or product zones, retention by district, retention by life stage segment, retention by targeted growth model or TGM segment, retention by membership or frequency of delivery depending upon your terminology, retention by email, which is to say whether or not an email is associated to the subscriber record, and finally retention by pay type, which is to say easy pay or pay by mail, although this could also extend to carrier collect if that were an option in your market. Now suppose I want to isolate on direct mail, web, and voluntary. I simply need to select those three values in the channel's drop-down menu by selecting and holding down the control key. Now suppose I only want to look at the retention of those three channels in the towns of Mystic, East Lyme, and Old Lyme. I repeat those same steps in the town drop-down menu. If you want to reset the values for channel and town, you simply go back to each drop-down and select all. And now you see the original data is restored in the chart and graph. Now suppose we want to look at subscribers by channel, but only those who are enrolled in EasyPay. I can go to the pay type drop-down and select EasyPay. Finally, let's consider a scenario where we want to look at retention by channel for all starts in the Metro Core, where the membership level is Platinum and the pay type is EasyPay. So in this case, we see that there are approximately 205 starts across those three channels in the Metro Core Geozone, where the membership level is Platinum and the pay type is EasyPay. You have two options available for distributing a dashboard. You may print the screen by going to File, Print Preview, and Print, in which case the table and graph are pre-formatted to print one page. You may also download the table for formatting and distribution. So this is the current release of the Retention Analytics Suite that is now available and has been rolled out to all existing Leap Media Solutions Managed Services clients. The benefits today include visibility and access to retention metrics across a number of key categories, the ability to create on-demand dashboard reports through an intuitive and simple front-end user interface, and the ability to drill down on multiple levels to study retention performance over many combinations of criteria. With the release of what we call version 1, we have now turned our attention to the enhancements that will provide forecasting and predictive tools where you will be able to project circulation volume and revenue yields based on inputs. Let's use the targeted growth model life stage segments as an example. As part of its methodology, Leap Media Solutions evaluates and scores every household in your market according to a series of demographic, lifestyle, and purchase propensities, and then assigns a master values score to every home based upon their likelihood to subscribe and retain. We then isolate the highest quintile and organize each of those households according to 3 distinct lifestyle segments. They are young aspirationals, or those between 25 and 34 years of age, families and sporty SUVs, or those between 35 and 54 years of age, and mature empty nesters, or those 55 and above. All other households outside of the top quintile are categorized into the control group. As you can see in the chart and graph, the 52-week retention of the 3 target growth model segments outperforms the control group. This becomes strategically valuable in how we choose to allocate resources to those customer segments that indicate a higher ROI. The next version of the Retention Analytics Suite will allow you to make projections of circulation and revenue yield and compare against the control by inputting things like number of direct mail units, response percent, cost per mail unit, postage, subscription offer rates, etc. We anticipate these enhancements in the next release to be rolled out by end of Q1 2014, at which point all current managed services clients, as well as those who are licensing this service as a standalone application, will receive the updates automatically. And we will, of course, administer another training webinar to showcase those new features just as soon as it's live and ready to deploy. As always, we welcome your feedback and suggestions on how we might continue to develop and strengthen this analytics suite. As this is built on an open architecture, we are able to explore and roll out enhancements and updates with no impact or disruption to the existing platform. And now we have time for a few questions.